Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is episode 81, recorded May 9th, 2018. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Jimmy Trammell.
Hello everyone, and I hope I make it to age 81.
I think that's like the cutoff for me. I don't want to go beyond that. And Matthew Russ.
I'm hoping to make it to 75 while still being trying to be healthy and all that. Then after 75, I don't care. I'm going to just, eat as much as I want.
That's what I'm saying,
And,
old enough to see my kids have kids, and that's it. I don't need great-grandchildren.
Yeah. then just start eating jelly donuts for every meal.
Oh, what do you mean
like
start?
But, you're supposed to not eat all that stuff until, you don't care about yourself anymore. No?
Wait, at 40, I'm supposed to still care about myself?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Oh.
Actually, you're supposed to go through this midlife crisis thing right about then.
I went through that in my 20s.
Oh, okay. So you're just like going at twice the normal rate. Gotcha.
Well, I mean, when I was 25, I had the body of a 50-year-old. I was so broken by that point that...
So you're telling me you're mentally an 80-year-old man?
Pretty much.
Okay.
mean, my grandpa was still really sharp when he was in his late 70s, 80s. He was still really sharp when he was 96, and was like, "I'm not supposed to still be alive. Somebody kill me. Just kill me."
Wow, that does not sound like. I would not want that to be how things are. That would suck.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. Hi.
Hey, and on that positive note, why don't we get into this giant list of stuff we got to talk about this week?
Well, because of some earlier discussions, we actually eliminated stories this week because of reasons. But we're going to start with the story about YouTube TV. I know we've heard a couple times on this show that there would be some wishing that if you were watching YouTube TV and you had a show favorited, it would record a show for you. But it would serve you up the video on demand version of the show when that became available. Well, guess what? Now you can get the version of your choice inside the player. And I've tried this myself. It allows a little drop-down menu on my phone where I can choose whether I want to watch the version that was broadcast. Actually, I saw two different versions that were broadcast and recorded for me, or the video on demand version. It was kind of like, sweet, I get to choose.
Yeah, I noticed this the other day watching it on my Roku. But I didn't realize it was a new feature because I saw it on a show I had just added. It said what version. But the only reason I noticed it was because it was a show that had recorded yesterday and they wouldn't let me just auto-play it. I had to go in and choose a specific version because the other one wasn't available yet. I don't know. I think it was, I don't know if it was Sci-Fi or USA or one of those channels, but yeah, it's kind of kludgy, and I think they're banking on the fact that most people are just going to say screw it and just click play rather than arrow down, arrow down, press the button, choose which one.
So let me ask a question about that. So the DVR version versus the video on demand version, does on the video on demand, do you still get commercials, or maybe even less commercials?
No, you will get commercials on both. DVR version will allow you to fast forward.
So my experience was that I actually got the same commercial on every break, but only one. But I was actually still be able to fast forward on the VOD version of the show I watched.
Yeah, it depends on the channel.
Exactly.
Some production companies will let you, others won't. Like AMC, absolutely not. Sci-Fi, nope. And Sci-Fi is the one that's really bad about giving you the same commercial over and over and over. Yeah.
It's real sad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. We have another story that makes me feel really old. We were talking about that earlier, about feeling old. This story is about Will Smith and the fact that he is going to be bungee jumping, not jumping, from a helicopter over the Grand Canyon on his 50th birthday, which is going to be live on YouTube September 25th. He's 50.
Well, he's 10 years older than me.
He's still younger than me.
Oh, sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah, so, he was, well, I guess he was playing a teenager when he was in his 20s, but...
Yeah, I guess that's how...
Yeah, he's always been one of those guys that look young for his age, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, because, like, when Fresh Prince was on, I was, like, 13, which would make him 23, so...
Right.
Okay, well, why my brain doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air came out in, what was that, 86, 87?
No, it was 89, 90. No, it would have been 90, 91. Because I was in 7th or 8th grade. Yeah.
You know what? I'm confusing it. No, I think when it was the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. That was 88, 89.
Yeah, that was a little earlier.
You had Nightmare on My Street and Donkey Kong and Parents Just Don't Understand. Yeah.
Right.
Back when rap was still kind of palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to Run DMC days, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the Fat Boys. Don't forget the Fat Boys.
Yeah.
All right.
We wanted to let you guys know that there was a new competitor for MoviePass out there. Cinemia is a new service available for any as low as $5 a month. You can go ahead and watch one movie of your choice using their system. They have little kind of upgrades to get you more movies. For example, a 2 movie per month for $10, and a 3D and 4D and IMAX formats for $15 a month. So they're basically trying to bump you up to the various options available to you, and being a competitor with MoviePass. The question is, A, is this better for the MoviePass for any reason, for what you guys are thinking about? And B, is it more sustainable?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised it took this long to get a competitor. And, I mean, they offer different... they appeal to different people. So you're not going to get the unlimited, movies. But, I mean, with MoviePass, you're not going to get unlimited either, when you actually break it down. But what do you see, and what do you want to get multiple? Do you want to be able to get multiple tickets at a time? Right. Then maybe Cinemia is what you want. Do you want to see a movie every day? Then
did you listen to Cord Cutters this week? Okay, well, they made the point of saying that 7 movies is like all the movies you could ever watch in a month, even on Unlimited Pass, because you can't watch the same movie twice. So,
but I mean, that's not taking into account there are art movies and indie movies and stuff that you could potentially go see.
Last month's movies.
Well, that's what we've talked about it before. When I was an active MoviePass subscriber, I'd see like maybe one movie a week because that's what was coming out. There was one movie a week coming out that I somewhat maybe was interested in, and a couple of them I wasn't interested at all, but I did go see it anyway because, hey, free movie. But yeah, I mean, that's what I say. It's not a one size fits all. Now people have choice, and that's good.
Yeah.
So rock on.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this story, I mean, the article I don't think talks about it, but what's interesting about seeing, more than one of these now, right, to me, is that, how do the movie theaters think about this? Do they think that services like this is going to get people back into the movie theater? Because, I mean, they've really taken a hit over the last few years.
Well, right? I mean, I'm the perfect example. I don't go to movies, but when I was a MoviePass subscriber, I was going to at least one movie a week. They were getting money from me that they never would have gotten anyway. And and it's good for it. It's not bad for the theater because the theater's getting paid full price. Plus, now they're getting money from me for concessions. And yeah. So, and I know there are other people.
So
like me,
so here's a question, and I'm going to show my ignorance about this type of service now. So for this kind of service, who pays who? Do the movie theaters pay them, or do they pay the movie theater?
No, so basically, MoviePass is giving you a debit or an actual Visa card that and MoviePass is footing the bill. So you're going in and you're buying a ticket at face value. So it's no different than if you went in there and paid the movie theater out of your pocket. It's just you're paying out of MoviePass's pocket.
So there's no relation between MoviePass and the theaters at all?
Nope. They're hoping, and they've been, over the last few months, they've been trying to build these relationships because now they've got almost a year of data to say, hey, it's in your best interest to work with us and give us a break because look at all the people we're pushing your way.
Right.
And you're starting to see a little bit more traction on that. But you're right at the beginning. AMC was like, "We will not accept it."
Right.
You won't accept free money?
Yeah.
And MoviePass flat out said, "You can't stop us." You know, they was like, okay, well, if you won't accept a card that says MoviePass, then we'll issue cards that don't say MoviePass. Oh, you say you won't accept MasterCard? Fine, we'll switch to Visa or Amex or whatever.
Right.
Right. You can't stop us.
Yeah.
And I never understood why AMC was like so anti. No, how dare you buy tickets?
The worry they have is that they don't want to turn into Netflix. They don't want to turn into everybody pays a tiny fee and everybody can go and watch whatever they want. Even though you and I know that if every single person in the United States paid a tiny fee, they would be rolling in cash.
Oh yeah.
If they really turned into the Netflix model, it'd be great for them.
And that was kind of the final nail in the coffin for AMC in my book. I hated AMC up to that point because they have terrible concessions. Their popcorn is disgusting. And then it was like they were acting like that. And when, you know what? I already don't like your theater. Now I have even more reason to avoid it at all cost. So, good job, AMC. And, Marcus Theaters, thank you. Because you drove me to them, and they are far superior and cheaper.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, yeah. So, rock on.
All right, well, Univision is trying to launch a new service which will allow you to watch a lot of their stuff online in a service that's on demand, very much like Netflix. Right now, if you want all the live and on-demand content, you will be able to spend $8 per month. But if you already get the Univision through your pay TV, like through your cable or other service, you can pay just $3 for the online portion of that.
And that's Univision.
No hablo español.
Just like you know how to say Uno. You ever play the game Uno?
Yes.
Yeah. Same word. Una.
Okay. Uno.
Feminine. Uno is masculine.
Yep, okay. Una.
It's an A.
So it's not pronounced Univision?
No. Univision.
Univision. Okay.
Haven't you ever listened to Tom Merritt?
Yes, several times.
He puts on his Mexican accent anytime Univision story pops up.
When he puts on his Mexican accent, does it include a mustache? Just curious.
I don't know. I'm an audio only listener. So.
Me too. I don't know.
Yeah. I like to imagine he's got one of those mustaches on a stick. If not, I'm gonna mail him one. But yeah, rock on. I think there is a serious lack of Spanish language options in a Netflix style
They have actually been working with Netflix in order to
they
provide
have, but that's
stuff
what I'm
in
saying.
there,
There isn't
it's
like
nice to,
there isn't a standalone. So
and Netflix's own model is more is better, so I'm sure that they're probably,
Mhm.
hey, you're going to keep doing your thing with us and you want to do this other thing on top
Yeah.
of that? Cool. I'm sure they'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
Netflix
absolutely.
does have experts.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm glad to see that there's more German-speaking content now on Netflix. I've noticed that of late.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I watched a show recently that was had a lot of German speaking in it.
What show was it?
Oh, what was it? Something about Hitler's megastructures.
Yeah. Well, that
About
was
the railways and the buildings
Yeah.
and the infrastructure that he built.
Yeah, they've got a. There's one show. It's a series called Dark, I believe, on Netflix, and that's a German show it's got the English dubbed over. Right?
Isn't that the one that has a real Stranger Things vibe to it?
Yes, exactly. That's
I've seen
exactly
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this show, it has like cutscenes reenacting specific things, and it's got that. I gotta give them credit. I think it's British made, so they have the actors speaking in German, and then someone with a similar voice to the actor over the top speaking it in English, and it's kind of confusing because it's at the same time, and I gotta look it up and see what it was. But yeah, it was.
Is it? Do you ever get anything like on some bad anime where it's like you hear this really long? You're saying no.
Oh, there was one point where it was like where he said something that was very obvious, and then they gave you the. It's like, yeah, he just said that. I know he just said that. Oh, so it was Nazi Megastructures is the name of the show, but
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I saw that one in passing. Yeah.
yeah. But,
All right,
okay.
news. We have one of many stories about Google coming up here, but this is kind of pre-IO. We have a story of the fact that you can now use your Google Assistant to make purchases for movies with Fandango. You can look up times, you can look up prices, and all that kind of information for your movies using your voice, or just you type it into your Google Assistant to find out more information and purchase your movie through Fandango.
Oh, let me try this real quick. Hey Google, can I buy tickets from Fandango?
On the website Quora.com, they say simply take the credit card you bought the ticket with to the theater. And you can
Ask for the showtime for a movie.
Hey Google, what is the showtime for Avengers Infinity Wars?
The closest theater playing Avengers Infinity War is AMC Rosedale 14. There are several showtimes today. The first one is at 9:30 p.m. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Great. I'm sending a way to buy tickets to your phone. Enjoy the show.
Not bad.
All right, were you
Not
able
bad.
to hear that?
Yeah, not bad. But, too bad it's the theater you hate.
Yeah, well,
I
it's
bet
the
you-
closest one. And there it is. Showtimes for Avengers Infinity War sent to you from Google Home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can't see that. Yeah. But yeah, rock on.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's a very cool technology.
Oh, and it says, do you want to go ahead and buy these tickets? And the options are yes. 1 adult, 2 adults, 1 adult, 1 child, 2 adults, 2 children. No thanks. I'm going to click no thanks.
Okay.
And let's see what does it say.
I was wondering if they would have. What did it say?
It said, I said no thanks. It said, here you go in case you change your mind. It sent me a couple links to be able to download or to continue.
Okay. That's cool.
So cool. Rock on. Yeah. So it works.
I like it.
All right, moving on. We have a story about YouTube, and they've been continually pulling more videos down for various reasons. This week or this time, we're talking about the fact that they pulled over 1,000 videos because they had a built-in ad for a service that promoted cheating for for school essays. Basically, they went ahead and let the videos know that they were going to be pulled and gave them a chance, I believe 1 week before they were going to go ahead and pull the videos. But most of these 1,000 did not and were pulled from the service.
You sure that it wasn't just a mistake in a Hispanic video? It's like, yo, essay, what you talking about? Give me some of that essay. No?
If that's the case, I apologize. That's horrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past their algorithms.
That's true. That's very true. I would be. That's the kind of thing that is exactly that would be picked up incorrectly. So,
no, Cruz, that's not racist. Or are you saying that YouTube is racist? Then yes, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. They've been trying to play off this whole, yeah, we're doing this for good reasons, and I still don't see a lot of good. But you know, there, as I said before, there are things that they took down that, you know, yes, absolutely had no business being there. But there's a lot of other things that regular things that they took down. Using the excuse of the cleanup. So, yeah.
I heard that. What was that noise?
Digital Trends started playing a video on their page.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and the fact that you heard that is amazing in itself.
Yes, it is.
They can hear the audio from my computer now. Thank you, Microsoft, for finally putting that into Skype.
About time.
But yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be ranting about YouTube for the foreseeable future, so I will put a pin in it there.
That's okay. The next story, you can rant more about YouTube. YouTube is taking control of how the video ads work for Vivo music videos on YouTube. Basically, they now are did have a deal with Vivo where they were basically in control of the ad space on them, but that deal is now over. So now YouTube has taken over the ad space, and it will put their own ads inside their videos.
Yeah, it's always weird when you allow a competitor to put ads on your platform. It's, you know, it. So I can't fault them. You know, if the agreement is done, then
yep.
You know, the fact that they're letting them go or still kind of exist in places is kind of cool. You know, good on you, but. It looks like, you know, some places, though, it had the effect of stripping the branding from many artists' channels. So,
right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, in a different story, Microsoft had their big old build event. Now, there was lots of cool stuff that was announced on that, but in particular for us and kind of what we got interested in is a story about the fact that Microsoft, and I'm going to use the Amazon Echo word here, Alexa, those two are now able to, or will be able to in a beta, turn on and be able to launch each other's app. Essentially, you'll be able to say, Cortana, let me talk to Alexa, and suddenly Alexa will show up on your Cortana device, like your Windows PC, and vice versa.
All I gotta say is Microsoft should not be teasing Alexa, because Cortana doesn't really have a leg to stand on. So, but together, I think they make a good team.
The argument for this is that, hey, you're at work, you're going to be using your Windows device, you're going to be having your meeting set up on that.
Actually work someplace that allows Cortana to be active.
Or even if you don't, you still have your Microsoft's account set up on it. And so when you get to a device that you can launch Cortana, even at home, you will be able to then be able to access all the information, like check your email or check your calendar events on that from the other device. So, good thing, bad thing?
No, good
Not
thing.
so-
I mean, interoperability is always a
Right.
good thing. There will be a point, and we talked about this probably a year ago, that there's going to be a point where all of these systems work together,
Right.
which will be great and might be the harbinger of our destruction. But as I've said many times before, I welcome my artificial intelligent overlords with open arms. I just want that to be on the record now when they, as they scan in the future, they scan back through the archives to find out who was talking shit. And maybe I should bleep that, but yeah.
The thing about this story, I mean, I kind of understand why Microsoft wants to go to Amazon, but I don't get it the other way around. I don't see what the benefit to Amazon is to, do this with.
They have bragging
Microsoft.
rights and said, "Hey, look, even Microsoft thinks that our product is up here."
So you've got them right in each other's backyards, so they're kind of close to each other, and it's never looks good when two companies that are very close to each other physically has a kind of a competitive relationship. So it's kind of better for them to work together in this case. And Amazon is not worried about Cortana taking over, not at this time.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, they're also in different. They operate in different areas. They're not in direct competition of each other.
No,
because Microsoft isn't selling, goods, and Amazon's not selling operating systems. So, whereas Microsoft, they ain't going to Google, and they as hell ain't going to Apple. So, anytime soon. So
yeah, I understand the. I mean, again, I just don't see Amazon's angle on this.
Well, I mean, they figure a vast majority of their users have computers just sitting in their house that have Cortana on there. May as well, because now it's a selling point for their Echo. Is they can say, hey, you've got Cortana on your computer. Mm-hmm. Don't get the Google Home. Don't get the Apple HomePod. Get this. It'll work with the thing that you already have. That's the way I see it. Still not going to convince me, but
I suppose I still think that's a little bit of a stretch, but I can kind of see it.
Yeah. But yeah, there will be a day where they all work together, but I mean, just think not in the not too distant past, there was a time where cell phones only worked on your carrier's network.
Ugh.
Remember? But now it doesn't matter. You're on whoever's network, wherever. And and you don't dare call somebody else on a cell phone that's on another network. You're going to pay through the nose, right?
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
And I mean, now it doesn't matter. And those days, they come in, and hopefully it won't be too long. So
we'll see.
Rock on.
All right. JBL has announced a new soundbar for televisions, but more than just a normal soundbar, it's also an Amazon TV, and it's also a Google Home. Basically, it's an all-in-one unit that will allow you to be able to control your TV, talk to and have it launch different videos or sound files for you. It's a soundbar, so I expect it to be at least halfway decent if I could use a JBL soundbar from them. So we still no information about when it's going to launch or how much it's going to cost, but this looks interesting. If it was not too expensive, I'd be interested in getting one of these.
So I'm interested. How is it an Amazon TV and an Android assistant?
Oh, did I say that? My mistake. It is a Google assistant.
It's an Android TV, yes.
And an Android TV.
And this is actually kind of cool. I will be looking at this intently when it... I'm pretty sure it's going to have a price tag much higher than I'm willing to pay. But I really like JBL. I like pretty much anything Harman Kardon makes. And Harman Kardon's always been very willing to hop into new technologies and, embrace stuff that may not really have any chance of being popular. But you know what? Hey, they'll do it. And
so at what price point are you thinking good deal? What price are you thinking, okay, I'd do it, but that's kind of expensive?
And what price? Like under 200, I could probably see. But if it's like closer to 3 or more, which I'm guessing it will be, then
I don't
know.
But the sound bar might be a really good high quality speaker though.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because it's JBL. But right here is the most important part.
Ethernet.
There's an Ethernet jack, which does not meet the Google standard. Because Google, when they put out the Nexus, they said, no, Ethernet, it should be wireless only. But, which is why I never got the Nexus player, because I refuse to be wireless only. I'm a network guy.
Well, then, but they did eventually give you
not the Nexus. It was the manufacturers after the fact that said, you know what, we're gonna stray, and that's why I got the Me, because it had an Ethernet jack.
Okay.
Yeah. Or wait, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. that was my big complaint. Yeah, because that's also one reason it's not connected right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. So.
All right. Yeah. If you are watching a show on the new available Facebook streaming live TV service and you find that you missed something or it was a cool play and you want to play it again, you can now either pause or rewind live TV so you can watch it again.
Why was that not an option from the beginning? That's all I want to know.
Because it was a straight feed of bits to you with no interface for you to pause and cache any of it. Somebody added a basic feature available in almost every single video player that's been out for years, basically.
I seem to remember in Windows ME, those of you old enough to remember Windows ME, you could use your desktop as a video player, your background, and it had the ability to stop and pause and rewind.
Are you talking about Active Desktop?
Yes, Active Desktop. That is what it was called. It was a great idea. Technology wasn't it? I'm kind of hoping that they'll bring that back. But
it's Internet Explorer in your background.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was. It was just the hardware wasn't there to, make it perform well. But
right,
Microsoft bring back Active Desktop. I think it's time. You were really ahead of your time, kind of like with their tablet PCs that they were putting out. They were way ahead of the time. The hardware just wasn't there to make it good. But I don't know. I still think Facebook's kind of too late. I don't think there's anything they could do that would make me go, ooh, I want to watch videos on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Clyde. I mean, why wasn't it there from day one? And I think, Facebook, the TV streaming, I just can't imagine anybody, their big screen television at home watching it on Facebook. I mean, obviously this is just for smartphones when somebody's standing in line at the grocery store and just bored and like, oh, okay, I'll see what's on Facebook or something, right? I think that's the only viewers they're getting. It's got to be, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, like my kids, they want nothing to do with Facebook. So, I don't know how much longer Facebook's really going to be dominant.
All things shall pass.
That's about the only thing my mom watches on her iPad is Facebook.
Yeah. So.
All right. Moving on, Android P. This is, I think, our first big story from Google I/O. Android P is coming in for lots of different devices, but it's also coming for Android TV, which means a couple of new features are coming our way. One of them is the fact that they've actually reduced the memory requirements for many of for the operating system and for many of the programs. They're making it a little bit more streamlined, meaning it'll actually run better on your same hardware and maybe make it available on lower end hardware as well. You're also going to get a couple other features like there's ability for us to have some auto completion built in and abilities for you to more easily set up your device using your cell phone next to your TV without having to use that stupid click, click, click button on your remote control.
The most important thing is that it will load into the Google Play Store during setup and say, hey, here's all the apps that you currently have installed on other devices that are also are also integrated. Do you want to just install them all, or do you want to choose? Which is the one that was the one Android feature that has been missing from Android TV for a long time. And yeah, so I am really excited about this.
Did Google announce any new hardware to go along with this? Or is it going to be a new set-top box for them?
Nothing was announced as far as a new box for consumers at the show for the I/O show, but there was something which we'll probably talk about in this.
Yeah, we'll talk about here in a minute.
Okay.
All right. LG has come across with their new line of televisions for the rest of 2018. A bunch of OLEDs and super ultra high definition 4K televisions, and many of them are coming with the Google Assistant built right into them.
Okay.
So you'll be able to go. So your TV is basically becoming a Google Home, which is a fine idea if you ask me. Especially if it works while the TV's off. If you could still talk to it, it's great.
I mean,
no problem.
Basically, any TV that's got Android TV can do that.
That's true.
So,
especially if
I guess welcome LG, because you were one of the holdouts. Because like 3 years ago, I think it was, Panasonic, Sony, pretty much everybody of the big players that wasn't Samsung said, hey, we're adding Google or Android TV to our TVs, and LG wasn't one of them. So welcome
this
aboard.
isn't necessarily Android TV. This is the Google Assistant that they're adding to it. So I mean, it's halfway there. But that means that your TV will act just like a Google Home and probably be able to launch videos directly from it.
I just noticed this is for Australia though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, LG Electronics Australia has unveiled its 2018 OLEDs.
Oh.
So that I think makes a difference. But yeah, because they joined force with Meridian Audio. Who the hell is Meridian Audio? Now I get it. Oh, this is for Australia. Never mind.
Hey. That's all right for all the Aussies in the
Strengths
who listen to the show.
And Sean, if you're watching, that story was for you guys.
That's right.
And yeah.
All right. So Google I/O has come out, and it's got some amazing stuff that they're talking about. Mostly, about AI. That's what they pretty much talked about a lot about. There's one thing in particular I want to talk with you guys about that they announced called Google Duplex, which is the ability for the AI, which is something we're all getting more used to talking to and doing various things with. Google Duplex now has the ability to it is the ability for you to carry out basically a simple request of yours over a phone call for you to basically do appointments, order food, those really basic things. And if you have been under a rock and not heard about this yet, or if you just haven't had the chance to listen to some of these audio clips of these real computers talking to these real remote people, and I'm sure that Google's cherry-picked the good stuff.
Should I play one of them?
I mean, they're pretty amazing. Go ahead. I pick one at your choice.
I'm going to do scheduling a hair salon appointment.
All right.
So how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. What time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay, I am officially creeped out.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that is amazing technology, and good on Google for doing that. But at the same time, I think this confirms that Google is Skynet.
They have weaponized the thing that has tormented us for a long time, like calling your ISP and you get the robo menus.
Yep.
They have now weaponized it. They make outgoing calls.
Oh, this is so awesome! You have no idea. You said you were okay with our
On the record, I embrace my electronic overlords.
Yeah.
This is them. They're calling now. They're going to be calling you by phone
I
and
can
saying,
still be worried.
Hi, Clyde. I just wanted to find out from you if you would show up to the meeting tonight at 6 p.m. Would you? Can you do
Are
that?
torches and pitchforks provided?
Not right now.
Okay, then I won't do that.
Okay.
Well, what would really be cool is if you could have the Google Assistant answer the robocalls that you get, right? That would really be good, right?
Oh gosh, I would love that.
Well, it's
I remember
like
working on that.
there's a video out there. I'll need to find it at some point, where it had two chat room bots talking to each other. And that's what you're kind of describing, but in a real life situation. Yeah.
So what I want to know, this is a real curiosity thing of mine. Normally, you've been called by robocalls before, and
Sure.
you've probably gotten to the point where you said, "Is this a computer or is this a robot?" And it denies, right? I want to know, does this say, "Oh yeah, actually, this is Google Duplex, an automated intelligent response system. Yes, I am a robot." And I wonder if it does something like that. But if it does, I'm cool with that.
How many people are actually going to ask that? Because the one time you do, somebody on the other end is going to be super offended. No, I am not a robot. I lost my vocal cords. You are a... Yeah. And
Yeah, okay.
no. But see, that's the problem, is the ones they're going to question are the real people.
Right, but here's the problem with that. That guy with the lost vocal cords needs this real bad. Come on. Okay, that's the out of everything that came out of Google I/O, that was basically the real big gem of amazing new tech out of them. I don't know if it means what we're going to mean for us as streaming videos or audio or anything like that. But very likely we're going to be talking about this again in the future.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is awesome, and
You know what? I wonder if we could get the Google Duplex to do our show for us.
You know, I think they probably. We're not far off from somebody saying, "I can't be here this week because."
All right,
I'm sick or
we'll
something."
just get Robo Jimmy to sit in.
But Apple is amazing.
I could just get a cardboard picture of me, right, and put it up.
Absolutely.
It'll be you. The picture that I will put up is a picture of you with a thought bubble with Steve Jobs surrounded in hearts. And you're just like, yeah.
If it wasn't too far to reach, I'd get my Steve Jobs novel up there.
All right. Next story, Google Assistant smart displays are actually going to be shipping starting in July. These are the little smart displays we saw at CES this year, which basically gives very much your Google Homes with a display, a direct competitor with the Echo, what is it called?
View?
The Echo View, which that little circular display version. These guys are different manufacturers are going to be making these, from Lenovo to JBL to whoever else wants to make them. And LG as well. So you will be able to do a lot of the same stuff, but they actually have a nice display to give you more context on what you're asking for and getting from.
Yeah, rock on.
That's pretty cool.
Watch your videos right on there asking for it. More I/O news. We have Google I/Os. Google is now announcing. Let me get to this. That you'll be able to do many more things with the standard Google Assistant. In fact, you'll be able to carry on a conversation instead of having to use the wake words every single time. Google I/O is going to be better at multitasking and do multiple things at the same different questions. You know, if you give the assistant multiple things to ask, and last but not least, help you with your manners.
Yeah, I'd say most of this is welcome because Google has been, or the Google Assistant has been great. They added context like 5 years ago. So, you know, you ask a question, who is this person? Where was he born?
Right.
You know, and you could ask questions and it understood, oh, you're still talking about this person. You could, but you still had to do the wake word. And that's been the thing that's been driving me crazy about my Google Home. It's because, you know, I want to have a conversation with it.
Me too.
So
that's finally coming.
Yes.
The multitasking, it means that you will be able to ask that same question, who is this person and when was he born? And they will be able to give you both those answers in one response as well. So that's the multitasking bit. And last is what's called Pretty Please, which is really kind of a ripoff of what the Echo for Kids is doing. It's got, if you turn on the feature, you will be able to. They will ask you to be nice to it for you to do things like it'll ask if you say please and if you say thank you, and it'll do the nice little things that'll help you out.
Well, it's good because I already have my mom trained to say thank you. Yep. Because when I set that up, I told her she has to say thank you, otherwise it might, you know, get angry and you don't want to know what happened, find out what happens.
Actually, when our Google Home I use as a timer for cooking things, when it rings to let you know it's done, I always have been saying for the longest time, "Hey Google, thank you," and it that will actually stops the timer, and it seems natural to say that to stop it. So,
okay, Google, thank you.
You're welcome.
See, the thing is, if you use that to stop the timer, it doesn't say anything at all. So
that's rude.
It just stops the timer. It just stops the timer.
That's rude. If someone tells you thank you, you need to say you're welcome.
Well, I've tried to say thank you and thank you to see if it would respond with the "you're welcome." It didn't, so we'll see if it figures that out eventually.
Oh, hey Google, you're terrible.
I'm still learning. What do we need to fix?
Everything.
Okay, thanks for the feedback.
You just gave Google some feedback.
And I didn't, but did you notice it kept going? It was waiting for me to, so that's new.
That's what you know. A couple of them will come back with that kind of response. So.
I've never seen that before. It threw me for a second. I was like, wait, the lights are on. It's waiting. Okay.
So, moving on, more stuff from Google I/O, especially with the assistant. Guess what? We are getting new voices for it, and they are all pretty generic voices for the most part, except for we have one voice, which
the
is
most generic of them all. John Legend.
John Legend. So you get a little bit of that kind of voice.
I don't know what his voice sounds like, so.
Yeah.
With a name like Legend, you'd think he's generic?
Well, considering I've never heard of him, he can't be that legendary.
Yeah, he's a pretty big singer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a nice voice.
I should hope so if he's a singer. Force people to listen to your terrible voice.
Well, I'm excited that we have more voices because we only having the 2 options right now. It's nice to have more. So, and the fact that we do get John Legend opens up the possibility of more celebrity or interesting voices as well. I
want Gilbert Godfrey.
I don't want Gilbert Godfrey.
I do so much.
I do want to have the voice from the computer from Star Trek. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I know the actress is dead. I know.
Yeah.
But,
Sorry.
if only there was this thing where they had tons of recordings of her saying things.
Yep, and computer models that make that would say whatever they. Yeah, I know. All right, moving on. We have there was a rumor you talked about a couple weeks ago about the new possible Google Android TV in a dongle form, and where is it? Where's it coming from? Where is it going to? And we found out that it's totally coming to all the developers who went to I/O and not to any of us. So it's the CR48 of the Google Android devices. So
I gotta see if I can pull some strings and get it developed, because that's how I got into Android TV in the first place. Was I got the developer model, and that's why I was never willing to get the Nexus, because the developer model, while it didn't have the same horsepower as the Nexus, it had an Ethernet port, and I was not willing to give that up for essentially the same device. Yeah, I want to try one of these out. So.
Do you have to have a phone for that to tether by?
No, this is Android TV. It's not a Chromecast, so it's got an actual OS on it.
But it stands alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good deal.
Has a remote. All right, so ESPN Plus is getting some more content, and starting next year, they will be streaming 15 UFC fights. So if you're a big fan of the UFC and you want to see some of the more of the fights available to you, you can go ahead and get your ESPN Plus subscription for that.
Before we move on, the application.
You found it. Wasn't so hard.
And I'm actually surprised because it's the ADT2. It's the one I have. Actually, I'll grab it after the show because it's just in the other room. It was the ADT1.
There you go.
Android TV. So, okay.
Android development.
Sweet.
Very cool.
Okay.
UFC. Stream 15 events. More on ESPN.
Yep. On ESPN Plus. So it's the online streaming service that they've got. This is good. Get 15 fights on that. And I know for a fact that when somebody wants to go watch UFC and how expensive it is, oy vey, that's a really good deal. It doesn't matter if it's like second or third rate fighters. That'd be a good show. Good thing.
If you let me ask, if you want to see 2 sweaty guys like groping each other and rolling around on the floor, aren't there bars you can go to see that? Like,
I don't know about any kind of bars like that, but I'm sure there are.
Yeah, it seems like a cheaper alternative.
This is still cheaper. I bet you anything. It's just one beer is probably costs more than ESPN Plus.
Well, see, the difference is, Clyde, is those guys at the bar, they're amateurs. These guys are professionals.
Okay.
And with the blood and sweat and all that doesn't get on you when you watch it through a streaming service.
Yeah.
All right.
Google has released a product called Tour Creator, which allows you, students, and anybody else to make your own VR content that you can walk through, very much like the Google Expeditions. In fact, it's designed to work with Google Expeditions. Yeah. Which to me is pretty awesome because I've always wanted to make an interactive story that I could use to, walk through something and let you choose your path, and thus choosing your path, you got different things happening. I'm going to be very interested in to see how this works, so I'm going to be looking deeply into this.
And we talked about this or something similar to it a couple weeks ago, where you said you can basically take a vacation without leaving your couch. And then I've actually been seeing commercials for this for at least a month on one of the channels that I watch that forces me to watch commercials. And I know it's this because I see it over and over and over and over. So some guy in the Middle East wants you to see these ruins before they're gone. So he, rock on. If anytime they can make this easier and more accessible,
Yep.
I'm all for it.
I actually almost did something a lot like this because you can do the spherical 360 videos with your Android camera, and you can manually upload them to make a special kind of scene on Google Maps. It's a lot of work. You kind of need to get some special access to do it. This now makes it official, and it's probably a lot easier, especially since they're aiming it towards students. So, for example, every year there's a classroom that makes a virtual exhibit that shows off whatever their science department is doing that year, whether it be volcanoes or the jungle or whatever, and you literally walk around and look at all the different exhibits in there. And I've tried to take pictures of that, and so you could get close to everything in this virtual tour.
So how many boys out there are gonna do the tour of the girls' locker room, or a spurned lover doing a tour of the ex-girlfriend's bedroom? I'm just trying to think of all the ways this could go sideways.
You're right. There are things they could do that would be really bad. Okay. Now that we've taken it that way.
Hope. Oh, yeah, and Media King, yes, I hope Alex Jones will be a guest assistant voice. I'd be all over that one.
You get it right there. Okay. Hulu Live has a brand new guide for your for the Hulu Live system. It is available now for Xbox One, Apple TV, Fire TV, and the Switch.
I did check this one out just before the show tonight, and it did look pretty nice. The screen, like what you see Clyde has on the screen now. What it is like whatever channel pops up there, the channel is playing in the background, and that guide is like an overlay of the show. So it looked pretty nice. I like the way it looks. And when you open up the Hulu app now, you'll see that new live television menu up there in the.
You know what else did that? Way back in the day? Google TV. That was like the whole reason about Google TV. You could be watching TV, and you go, "Ooh, what is that?" And you could bring up a search window, and you see through it. I also liked that feature when it was part of ATI's TV tuner cards, where I could surf the web and watch TV. Yeah, rock on. I think DirecTV Now also does that. So
thank goodness Hulu finally caught up.
I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, good. So yes.
And with that is the end of our news for this week.
All right. Well, with that, should we check in with Big Voice Jay?
Oh yeah.
BBJ, what you got?
Welcome to your BT Movie Draft Minute presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of May 7th, 2018. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. I once thought I had mono for an entire year. Turned out I was just really bored. Let's go to the scores. Team The Vaunt Squad is in last place, still waiting for their first film. Team Walking Drunk is on the board, with Overboard putting them in 5th place with $15.9 million. Team Movie Party's in 4th place with $56.5 million. Team Game Night is in 3rd place with $133.3 million. Team Ritual Misery is in 2nd place with $254.3 million. And with another blockbuster 9-figure weekend, Team Have a Drink is on top with $525.6 million. That's your movie draft minute. All totals are accurate as of 8 p.m. Central, Tuesday, May 8th, 2018.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I just want to point out, starting this weekend and for the next few weekends, I've got a movie every week coming out.
Yes, you do.
So I think Solo's week after next?
I believe so.
Memorial Day weekend.
May 25th.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. So when is your guys' first movie coming out?
June. We're still waiting for June. We'll be in last place for a while. Yep, it's pretty clear that we will be in last place for at least until June 22nd.
You'll be last place all the way up till the end.
No, probably not.
We're just doing the rope-a-dope there, Clyde.
No,
Yes.
so interestingly enough, Overboard I watched. I was watching the numbers this weekend, and I know Walking Drunk picked that up for $8, which isn't that much, but it is. Oh, I'm sure hoping that they get more money out of that, because right now it doesn't look like they did very well.
Well, I mean, how much money are they supposed to get out of it? It's a stupid remake of a perfectly good movie that didn't need to be remade.
Oh.
You know,
we have Avengers, and the question is, how long will that Avengers
it's
keep
already
breaking?
tapered off. I mean,
Yeah, it has. But will it make another 50 million this weekend? Will it make another 100 million?
I don't think it's got much more steam, because the thing was that I think everybody that wanted to see it saw it right away.
It's true, but that being said, it could be a long haul, very much like Black Panther was. But I also kind of agree that if people wanted to see it and wanted to see it again, they've probably seen it by now. There probably will still be a couple more people picking it up.
I mean, it's still under what I assumed it was going to be when we went into the draft. I counted it as a $500 million movie, and they're not even there yet. So.
I thought it was going to be 650 million, so I still think it's going to be there.
Yeah, it could be. So I'm not worried about that. I'm just waiting for Breaking In this weekend. It's going to make all the money.
So you spent $9 on Breaking In versus Ritual Misery, who spent $7 on Life of the Party. I'm just curious, who do you think is going to win between you two?
I don't know what Life of the Party is. But in their defense, I still haven't looked at a trailer for Breaking In, so I just bought it because I had money, you know?
That's true.
It's one of those things that you may as well have something.
It's your suspense thriller movie. It's a woman who will do anything to take care of her kids, and I do mean she's... Well, let me... she does a pretty good Taken kind of vibe to it, where it's like, I will do anything to save my children kind of thing, and she pretty much kicks butt.
Let me just ask about that Taken franchise. Yeah. How many times can your children be kidnapped before people realize maybe you're just a bad parent? I mean, once, twice, but seriously, what the hell's wrong with you? Why do your kids keep getting kidnapped?
I don't know.
All right. Well, this is the point in the show where we get things off our chests. Yeah, you guys have never heard that before, have you? Was it loud?
No.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is short there, Matt. Then you can jump in. Yeah, so I've been watching Bosch this week. I've watched all the episodes. I have one episode left, just the last episode.
And what do you think?
And I have to say, it's a great season this season. I really enjoyed it. Bosch has not disappointed me in any of the seasons yet so far. I mean, this is the fourth season, I believe.
Yeah.
And the previous three were great, and the fourth season is also great.
Yeah, as I said before, heading into Bosch, last season wasn't quite up in my opinion to the level of the other ones, but this season did a really good job of redeeming it.
Third season, I would agree with that too, Clyde. But it did finish strong. I like the way it finished.
And it was just because of that season, I was kind of hesitant about this current season, and I will say they reined it back in. They did a good job. And let me know when you finish that last episode. Because
I'll probably watch that in the next night or two.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping that they bring back Annie Wershing. She was in season 1.
Oh, was she the one that was his partner for a little while?
She was the love interest
Yeah.
in the first season.
And then oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so
Kind of like her. And then, so once I get done watching Bosch, then I'll move on to Billions and watch that one.
Billions. They're
I've only watched the first episode. So.
they're doing a really good job this season. So
yeah,
it's a very strong third season. So
good deal.
Yeah, rock on. What were you gonna say, Matt?
So every night we're getting ourselves settled in for our evening, and we turn on the Roku because just sometimes we stream something on that, and we got the new screensaver on it. You were kind of possibly maybe hinting at earlier
you got
on.
it.
We got the new screensaver, so I must have gotten the new update, and it's a very much, if you haven't seen it, but you've seen the old screensaver for Roku. Roku has the screensaver, which is basically a panning scene of a city going by, and it's got a couple cool things that you can kind of notice in it. The new one has a lot of things in it. And so the first time we saw it, my wife and I spent 20 minutes just looking at it. Okay, there's that, and okay, there's that. And there's that. Oh, that's probably there's the Eiffel Tower, obviously the Seattle Space Needle, and look, it's the Wizard of Oz, the City of Oz.
There's
okay,
the
cool.
aliens and robots.
Yeah, and all kinds of stuff going. I mean, it's huge. So I said, hey, okay. I said to my wife, that there's somebody somewhere who's figured out what these all are, and we'll figure it out, and I'll go read what it is. So we went to bed, and I came back the next day, and she turned it on and says, well, did you go online and look at it? I said, actually, I forgot to. So we looked it all up right there. Oh man, there's more than we knew. There are so many different little things in there.
Yeah.
It is packed with little movie references in there, and just an amazing amount of things in there for you to look at. So if you want to spend a little bit of time just for fun to get your movie trivia on, get to a Roku player, see the new Cityscape Lands player, and just watch it. Ignore the billboards; they're in the way. Obviously, it's kind of they got their ads built into it, but it's just fun to see how many you can get. And there's a link to there's a Reddit post of all the different ones that have been found, and many of what guesses as well. Mm-hmm. And on the Reddit post, there is actually the official Roku person who's saying that, hey, guess what? You've got so many of these right. You're absolutely right on. So give it a shot. Go and see what it is, and it's that's sucked up a lot of our last couple nights. So just look.
And that reminds me, because we talked about a couple weeks ago, now you can use your phone remote as for your headphones.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it works amazing. Oh, cool. It is so much better than like I said. I like the feature of the headphones on the remote. Mm-hmm. But it kills the battery so fast.
Right.
Phone doesn't even hesitate, and I can always recharge it. So that works pretty good. What I was going to talk about though is there's this new show. Maybe you guys have heard of it. It's Cobra Kai.
It's
Cobra
Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Is that from the Karate Kid?
Yeah, it's the continuation of the original Karate Kid story 30 years later, 25 years later, or whatever.
It's Karate Kid, the real part 2.
I went into it going, okay, and I loved it. There have been a couple things I've watched on YouTube Red where I'm like, yeah, if you ever get around to YouTube Red, you might want to check this out. This is the first thing where I'm like, oh, sign up for YouTube Red for a month and check this out. And I have to give those writers credit because they understand how much of a dick Daniel was and that he was always the villain and that he still is a villain. Mm-hmm. Because I hated the original Karate Kid movie. I couldn't stand it because I hated that character. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until recently that I've gotten vindication when people started pointing out, oh, wait, no, Daniel was the real villain of that movie. And then he cheats to win at the end. And then they address a lot of that. They address a lot of that in the show. And it's you know, without getting spoilery, they're both flawed individuals, and it is so. I mean, this is told initially from the viewpoint of Johnny Lawrence, the kid that he beat in the first movie,
right?
And and then it kind of picks up and they cross paths. And I recommend it if you've got access to YouTube Red. It's all there. They're half-hour episodes, so like 23 minutes or whatever.
Right.
And there's only 10 of them, so you can knock them out fast.
So so I watched the first episode, and the first episode was excellent.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that was great. I would have watched more, but I have work to do. I have to get back to work. So I was up and I was talking to my wife, and she was like, oh, that new show Cobra Kai is out. I want to see that. I said, I saw the first episode. She looked at me, and she went all Cobra Kai on me. She had literally swept the leg. She showed no mercy. She was upset. You can't watch any more of that without me. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
I absolutely owe Barney on How I Met Your Mother a debt of gratitude, because he's the one that convinced most people to reevaluate their stance on that first movie. Because if you guys ever watched that show, there was he always talked about the hero from Karate Kid, and then they got Ralph Macchio to show up at the hotel, and he was angry. He says, "No, he is not the hero." And obviously, it was a joke because they understood, and they had Zabka out in the hallway, who ended up being in the wedding. But definitely check it out. That's all I have to say. So, I think we should probably wrap this thing up. Thank you, Matt and Jimmy, for showing up. Thank you, Mike, for showing up eventually. I kind of take back all the terrible things we said about you at the beginning of the show. But you're going to have to go back and watch it to find out exactly what those were. Everybody that's here hanging out in the chat room, thank you so much. You're the reason that we come out here every week. If you're watching this after the fact, we go live every Wednesday night on at 9 p.m. on Twitch. Just look us up, The VOD Squad. Give us a follow. Those of you that are Prime subscribers, and if you got one of those free Twitch subs rattling around, collecting dust, feel free, right up top up there, hit that subscribe button. We don't mind. We would like to help you take a few bucks out of Ted Twitch's pocket, even if it's going to be a year before we get it. But and other than that, guys,
it's been fun.
It's been fun.
Absolutely.
I will check you guys later.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.